There was a time, not too far back in the grand scale of human history, when money simply did not exist. No coins, no notes, no numbers on a screen. Only people, their skills, and the things they could produce with their own hands. In those early societies, exchange was direct and deeply personal. A farmer traded grain for tools, a hunter exchanged meat for shelter. This system, now known as the barter system, worked well enough in small communities. Yet beneath its simplicity lay a quiet inefficiency, one that would eventually push humanity toward one of its most profound inventions. The problem was subtle but unavoidable. Trade depended on coincidence. You needed to find someone who not only had what you wanted, but also wanted exactly what you had. As societies expanded and human needs became more complex, this fragile balance began to collapse. Trade slowed, opportunities were missed, and value became difficult to measure. It was not a dramatic failure, but rather a growing discomfort, a sense that something was missing. And it was within this discomfort that a revolutionary idea began to take shape. Across different parts of the world, without any single inventor or defining moment, humans started converging on a solution. What if, instead of trading goods directly, they used something universally accepted, an item that represented value itself? Slowly, certain objects began to take on this role. Salt, cattle, shells, and grains were no longer just commodities, they became symbols of worth. These early forms of proto-money were not chosen randomly. They were durable, divisible, and most importantly, trusted. For the first time, value was being abstracted, separated from the physical goods it once depended on. The true transformation, however, arrived in the ancient kingdom of Lydia around the 7th century BCE. Here, metal coins were introduced, stamped with official markings that guaranteed their weight and purity. This seemingly simple innovation changed everything. Trust was no longer negotiated in each transaction, it was embedded within the coin itself. As this idea spread through civilizations like ancient Greece and ancient Rome, trade accelerated, economies expanded, and wealth began to accumulate in ways previously unimaginable. Money as a system had begun to take on a life of its own. Yet the most extraordinary leap was still to come. If metal coins required trust in their physical composition, paper money required something far more abstract, trust in an idea. This concept first flourished in China, where merchants and governments began issuing paper notes as representations of stored value. These notes had no intrinsic worth. They could not be eaten, worn, or forged into tools, and yet people accepted them. Why? Because they believed others would accept them too. It was a quiet, almost invisible shift from trusting objects to trusting systems. As states recognized the power embedded within this belief, they moved to formalize and control it. Currency became a tool of governance, giving rise to what we now call fiat money, a system in which value is declared rather than derived. No longer tied to gold or silver, money became an instrument shaped by policy, authority, and collective confidence. Empires rose and fell, not just on land or military strength, but on their ability to maintain trust in their currency. Today, we exist at the far end of this evolution. Money has shed its physical form almost entirely. It flows through digital networks, appears as numbers on screens, and moves across borders in fractions of a second. Even decentralized systems like Bitcoin challenge traditional control, yet still rely on the same fundamental principle that has always defined money. The form has changed, the scale has expanded, but the essence remains untouched. In truth, money was never merely an invention. It was an agreement, a shared illusion powerful enough to organize entire civilizations. What began as a solution to the inefficiencies of barter evolved into the invisible architecture of the modern world. And perhaps the most intriguing question is not when money was invented, but why humanity was so willing to believe in it.